Hi, my name is Venus O'Hara and welcome to another video. Today I wanted to talk about low sex drive and difficulty reaching orgasm. I received this comment on a recent review. Do you have any suggestions for women with sexual dysfunction problems and trouble climaxing and low libido? Please help me. So I was inspired to make this video and I've made some notes. But first of all, I would like to tell you all, as you already know maybe, some of you, that I am not a health professional. And I think the first port of call should be visiting a doctor, because if you have issues with your libido, it might be linked to hormones. And I think the first thing you should do is check with a doctor that everything is okay. And let's imagine everything is okay, then I'm going to share with you some of the things that work for me, because even though I'm a sex toy tester, I'm not always in the mood for sex, and these are some things that really help me to boost my libido. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was really, what is a low libido and what are we comparing it to? I mean, are we comparing it to our ideal libido? I think in general in society, everything is becoming more and more sexualized, and there's more and more pressure on people to act like sexual beings, or and I think maybe if you could be comparing yourself to what you think you should, where you think you should be, or maybe your friends are talking about sex all the time and you're thinking, I don't get it, what's so great about it? Or maybe you have a partner who has a higher libido than you do, and that can make you, perhaps might inspire you to want to increase your libido. So I think it's important to ask oneself, what are you comparing it to? And then something that really I've talked about a lot in my videos about orgasm specifically is that I think that in any sexual encounter, any sexual session the focus should always be on pleasure, and pleasure can be physical pleasure, emotional pleasure, and just sensual pleasure. And I think that should be the focus, and as opposed to orgasm, because if you're having difficulty reaching orgasm, then I think it puts a lot of pressure on the situation, and you might not enjoy it as much. Whereas if you focus on pleasure and just let go and enjoy the moment, and just close your eyes and think how great it feels to feel the warmth of someone else's touch, or whatever it is, or whatever fantasy you might be enjoying, then if your focus is just purely on the pleasure and the here and now, then hopefully an orgasm will be the result of a build-up of pleasure. So, and I think it's much more likely to happen that way. So another thing that really works for me personally is that I consider myself to be a very sexual person. However, there are some things that can bring my libido down. And one of the things which might sound very strange is regular sex, because I think whether you have a massive imagination or not, I think a lot of couples just inevitably fall into a sexual routine, and I think to avoid that, I like to have sex less often. I think it feels more special, and then every time I do have sex, it's so mind-blowing and article-worthy. I mean, for me personally, I mean, as I'm writing about sexuality I want to have sexual encounters that really inspire me to write good articles, and it could be a really good experience or a really bad experience, but not a kind of run-of-the-mill. I don't know, I get bored if it's too often. So I think it's really important to I'm very like to be selective with the partners, and not do it so often, so it becomes a much more special occasion. And because I think sometimes I think for me personally, if I was, let's say, using a dating app and I was having sex with different people every week, I think I would definitely get bored with sex. I'm looking for the sensations that a caress can't provide, like something that's really mind-blowing, and that's not something that you can find very often. So, and then when it does happen, obviously it's incredible. But so that's my personal tip to myself, is to have less sex, which might sound maybe counterintuitive, but I think that's what works for me. Another thing that I think is really essential in life, in any field in life, is to practice sport and eat well. I mean, I think going to the gym and just even walking. I read a statistic somewhere about walking and clitoral stimulation, even bike riding. There's so many ways that you can connect with your body through sport, and it gets you into the here and now, that more mindful relationship with your body. And I think that's the best thing about sport. And also I think it gives you a lot more stamina and endurance in sex. I mean, I know now I can go on top and have a lot more bouncing abilities than I had a few years ago when I didn't go to the gym, for example. And also I think it helps with body confidence as well. So I really think that doing sport really promotes a really good relationship with your body, and can maybe wake up those areas in so that's a really good thing to do. And of course eating well is very good, is essential in life. So plenty of fruits and vegetables, and drink plenty of water, but drink lots of water. And then other things, I think something that really boosts my my sex drive is to have less focus on penetrative sex and more on I like regular intimacy. I love naked hugs, kisses, caresses, tickling, lots of sensuality, blindfolding. I think doing all of these things with a partner can really spice things up. And there are so many resources now for couples to enjoy. And I think eliminating the penetration can almost make you want it more, and be a great boost for one's libido. At least it is for me anyway. And another thing that I really recommend for women, it's not the most comfortable, but I really, now it's cold here at the moment, and something I really enjoy is wearing stockings and suspenders underneath a long skirt and a winter coat, and walking to my lover's house, because I love feeling my cold thighs rub against each other and walking, as it's like clitoral stimulation really. And if you wear no underwear as well, I think it can really wake up that area and make you feel alive sexually. So that's something I would recommend, just and also experiment with your nudity, sleeping naked. Don't catch cold though. It's just to really enjoy the sensation of air against your skin, or sheets against your skin, and just even having a massage, a normal massage, nothing dodgy. But imagine you've got all these erogenous zones at the back of your neck, your head, your feet. There's so much potential, and I think just having a massage can really help wake up every part, every pore in your body. I think that's a great thing to do for oneself, for self-care anyway. And and also my final point would be to do erotic homework, and that would involve reading erotic fiction, maybe watching some erotic films, or it could be a good Hollywood film that's got a great seduction in it, or there's so many good series at the moment, and that can just get you going to maybe feed your own fantasies for when you do masturbate, which I haven't even talked about masturbation. But of course, let's have one more point in there. So masturbation, of course, there's got to be another way to boost your libido, especially if you do all the previous, especially with the erotic homework, and that can make you, or maybe help you have some interesting fantasies that you might want to live out or not. Anyway, I hope this video is helpful for anyone who's going through issues with libido and low sex drive. And if you have any questions or any suggestions for new videos, you can leave a comment below or write to me at venus@venusohara.org. Anyway, see you next time.